All right, so today I just want to talk about the movie Megan real quick. I got a chance to see it over the weekend. Um, I was intrigued by their marketing. Kind of reminded me of Smile, and I like the idea. I like what this company does. This production company is able to kind of take an older idea and kind of upgrade it or modernize it. And so I felt like this was kind of like Chucky. But you put in the AI influence, and you kind of at least are able to kind of repackage it for a new audience, which is fine. The PG-13, I have no problem with. I have no problem with trying to get a larger audience in at the sacrifice of maybe like one or two kills that could have gone maybe a little bit further. But I gotta say, a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is so much fun. This movie's so much fun," and all this stuff. I honestly didn't think so. I didn't think it was a lot of fun. Like, I thought it took a lot of time, with the family dynamics to kind of get the story going and get Megan in there, and then kind of explain, what she is and what she might mean to the corporation and the company and stuff like that. Some people have even mentioned like the messaging is, they seem to make the messaging a little bit more important than, any type of comedy or something like that. I disagree with that too. I don't really know what the message is. I mean, it's like, okay, AI, like we get it. We've been doing this since 2001, and do I think the direction is good? I do. I do think the direction is good. I think that the film is good enough to garner an audience. It's just interesting to me at this point, like what people will go out and see and what they won't see. What they consider like streaming and what they'll, go to the movie theater for. And, certainly horror seems like a genre that people are just willing to go to the movies for, and in that way I think that's good. But you're looking at all these other films that are right now in an Oscar race, and they can't make any money at all, zero. And yet these, I will say it's a clever premise for Megan. It's definitely a clever premise, and again, it's kind of updating what Chucky is, and using some of the same type of like comedy and also horror elements and stuff like that. So it is effective. But again, I didn't have like a blast. Everyone's saying they're having like a blast watching this movie. I didn't have a blast watching it. Actually, my favorite part was her kind of like dancing around and then killing the two people in the elevator or whatever. But outside of that, I felt like it was kind of very uninspired. I didn't think there was anything new that was going. There was no, as far as the message was concerned, I didn't think there was anything new to its opinion on artificial intelligence or AI, or where we might be going, in the future with these kind of like robotic friends and stuff like that, which are being developed right now, and I mean, the most interesting story that I've heard in something like this are people who are building robotics, incorporating AI, sentient AI. They tried to, this is a true story in the laboratory, they tried to dismantle these robots, and then the robot started rebuilding itself based on the information it was getting from a satellite. That story's kind of pushed out there to scare people and stuff like that, but I felt like even going a little bit further perhaps into the AI would have made it at least a little bit more interesting for me. But again, I don't even know if I'm the target audience. I know that one of the producers came out and said that he wanted people 25 and under to be seeing the film. So, again, I just might not be the demographic for it. But, again, I just felt like the performances are good. The direction and the photography are good. It's a nice, tight little story, which that's one of the elements that I did appreciate as well. It's an hour and 45 minutes. All of these movies that are coming out now are just 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 47 minutes, 3 hours. I understand that sometimes you need to tell the story in that amount of time, but it's getting a little like, I don't want to go to the fucking movies for 3 hours. And I'm a cinema guy. So it was actually kind of refreshing to be like, okay, 145, an hour 45 minutes, plus let's say the way that they do trailers now is like a half an hour. So it's like, you're sitting there for maybe 2 hours, get out of there, go get something to eat, something like that. So I would put this film, and I don't think I've really broken it down enough, like what I would really want to say about this, and perhaps I'll make another video on it. The one thing that I just wanted to say was that, like, as far as like, oh, everyone's saying they're having a blast with this movie, I didn't have a blast with this movie. I thought there was very little funny parts. I thought there was and obviously, who cares about this? Like, it just gets us into the story. But I just feel like the sister who died, like the parents died, and then the custody goes over to her aunt, the mother's sister. I was like, there's no fucking way. I was like, they definitely go to the parents first, which they kept alluding to during the film. They'd go to the grandparents first. They're not going to give a kid away to like somebody who has no kids and is so invested in her career. I just don't see anybody making a decision like that, but okay. And then, of course, she is dealing with trauma, but I don't think that's what the film is really about. Like, the film is meant to just be about Megan, which is cool. I'm glad they didn't go too far into anything else. But again, it's kind of like this Chucky-esque kind of thing that does put AI to make it different. But I just felt like it just didn't explore the AI, and we're so used to at this point, AI being so like dangerous and manipulative and willing to kill everybody. It's becoming uninteresting. So this film here, again, directing wise, craftsmanship wise, the performances, putting everything in that. And again, I still think that they're able to put a clever twist on old ideas, so taking Chucky and then making it an AI and exploring that even as little as they did is still a good way to reintroduce a classic horror idea and put it to a new audience. And the success of it this weekend shows that was something clever to do. And this company has always been able to do that, from The Purge all the way up to Megan. So I'm going to give this a 7.3.